Hello, 101.5 FM.
I feel my member of Honomo, Una, Mokeka reliefs, any interrogatories, any pleadings, any application, any idea. I won't out here say, TV and not the Mbaka. 89 was it Thursday? Nano Yawada. And Supreme Court SSA, Womo Eddie Mwaye. A lawyer for means petitioners, lawyers, first respondent lawyers, any second respondent lawyers. All arguments are over by all the whom wire beba. Na Oma Betre say easy. And who be here say, on Baba be dear dance here. Ewo asema e costume and I say, oh, media dance here. The rest, all of us know. And you know, nim komo na church ye said the same see community who ne the also yet say a bit me aboy.
Men kan nyina free ya wada
because na me want say we go use a question. Lawyer for.
Any certain free juada.
Any yitiu.
Juada no na. Eye ura chatu. For the last witness. And I say you to the last witness anu wie. Eye ura rojo metal no. Na owie no na ebusa ne say usa wo adanse bi abesa afre bi wana enna owura atwese no owie enti owie akana sem nyina awie adanse fo obefre nyina waka awie afre obawie ene na chese ene friend say I'm closing my case. I'm closing my case just say mini adanse ni bia mefre bi masem man pesa meka nyina na maka no enti we are closing the case. We're closing the case at the Supreme Court case any first respondent we electoral commission and do so a hot na bomb kese to ya me kura shokome and bomb na to ya na say electoral commission lawyer solid na so can say my lord ye ni dance ni bia frɛ na ye gina samra we so and ye can check court say ya close your case and I'm say Supreme Court judge back case now witness it me afali is it any day not my lord so mo pa eno metimi ayi so as he say yes it is atisem na ye pa de eni adanso bi afre enti na abomba to me say na me TV e choko me because now I was expecting say ma me no ebefro adaka no enti ho na betiso CJ Chief Justice Ebusa Akutam Pause na also my lord yes so the same position na ura chachu epeja animu also my lord you we there enti ase ntomo yeso be argue on say my friend momra china na momra be argue na mo be argue ewia yes Supreme Court yes be kire yes yadu enti brana no jam de kwachiche so asem na ponu nyina ne say so obi kase oni adanse a anya bia Supreme Court wo kwan anase court bi kura wo tumi so be shi oni akono say kiti eso be dia adanse na asem na be bia ponu no and this em for say kin me no na ye case wona masama wo me sama wo no makama sema wi wo so won kasa na the court be bubu bia wo mu a the question that arises is, it is Supreme Court war. Akonya, and also go to me some show, kitty setting bra. Nobody a dance here, a man one. As I'm a pony them. Na, Yamadi shares on as Supreme Court, okay. And your Macavia. Yes, so say bachelor Yawada. Na, before us in the Supreme Court, because you bachelor Yawada. Not be share exchange, because we share that here, certain crime or crime. Now, we share say, you dear Sepa, who questions a banana? Put me, baby, your marginal. Almost our right at you say. Nanya say, say, my name as well see 3 months soon. Established principle of law, and they say, what do you mean for will be? And then the mass way different. Right at you say, where ye? Constitutional body. Why elected? Why not going to say? what come in United including the court, so obedient dance. It's when you carry election, that so obedient dance. I follow witness statement. At this time, no, too late. So much is arguing. Now, because only a dance here. I'm not follow witness statement. Now, what the judges can say. So witness statement, a novelty. And maybe a bus was after, I say about 2015. Now before no, you know and they say, you can say before dance we after dance we dance. No one say what time so. No after dance you know, but no be janda no be good. What else? And then ukra wuni. Saturday was surprise, if I say litigation. Obi wona you know they are dodgy. Is say you wona nyina twem. And it's a sad there. It's a new openness. Court to show self for one no assembra. It is all one no assembra na say. What's the someone doing here? Who knew Kwana? Was my lord who knew Kwan? And he meet exchanges now. Nam to say
time I also tea exchanges as a professional lawyer. Now who say two parties now make almost argue for say my men metna adakem and I say easy metna adakem and I say easy media dance any almost argue say ma will be dia dance between the two sides now also as a professional lawyer now baby who knows who thinking ijana na say
and they say
na wo hwe embremu
ade bi wo ha established practice ye nyina ye to move away from the established practice no yeah na easy established practice and they say since 2015 as I say by I'm sure I think it's around 2015 our rules no by so far witness statement na say client na ma and a witness na ma the court just said this one is up to us. It's a hearsay. That is the practice now. The court was not forcing anybody from court of appeal down to magistrate court.
That's a who file witness statement. Next year, from near casa hearsay. Don't you suffer any penalties for wasting the court time
let me explain that
for misleading the court?
The answer is no. But the difference between the witness statement now and the canon and they say, canon no ba begina dakem. And a friend Kwame Adofo mechi hanum bi say asama ekoso minim ho de minim nie na wabonkro na be 2-3 hours na jada kam na bosan kro no. Court say we see time. And the same kro na ba trogu krata so anso no aduru ho. And so oduru ho a afi na beka me na me Kwame Adofo asem we bi mu bi be so dia enu nie. To tra dakam a Eda chiro. Mr. Kwame Adofo. Wako lawyer how na chiro wasema gu krata so. Etisa na say was here this was a Jesus witness statement. Ehwe say no a. Na hwe o signature no. O signature ani. Eti na mo tender sa statement no. O tender o say eno tender na ni say my lord mano asema me beka no. Na ma chiro gu krata so. Me ni hwe ka bio. Na abeye wo unkro na ka ba begina dakam. Aboa was will be our time no na beye na onye nyina adakam
at what point I'll be swai we have ma cross and answer bible as swai na waka say asem a me be kan nyina ni at what point
yes your fraw e ma be gyina adakam
okay
tu be gyina adakam a na fe ebusa o say obeso bible cross quran and as obedi ense keke now you be surprised omo mutaye honest ni omo omutimba was be so mbosom the evidence in the kroji.
Maybe I to look as I meant.
But with a mungo, Baba, maybe we did dance here. Or cast was some bosom. Country will not be a journey. As you should know it. Very honest. What is the news? The evidence was solid. So, on the mechanic because we still so happy. Anyway, with a mugu. It is over. No, this Syria. A honor now would do without witness statement. Ebe tender say man wasem ni nie na o lawyer no wie and this o man be di adanse e me di ense ana maso ya witness statement we no ase eni ho e wo ho so ni ho so what did the make can say
wait
no it's not even in before the court
okay
so what does it your lawyer have it your opponent has it everybody has it but the court says me dem hu here. Because nobody didn't say so. Small can you correct and to legitimate. That is the settled practice. All the courts. Yeah, no. Eti Chachu argue against no. Now me do know say assuming, and by the way, Chachu Yadipa, because I was listening to him, and I'll get to that later. Me and I'm saying, okay, it is a judges you are convinced. Say they want to go with Chachua. The implication now is that everybody now will now have an exception because we have to follow whatever the Supreme Court will say. Mm-hmm. So it means say Chachu, I win here. The settled practice you see, say what woman you dakama. Witness statement is of no value. No? It means that has now changed. So I could see that it was almost impossibility for Chachu to win. Because of winning, it will change the way we've been doing cases since 2015. So I new rules you buy. And even though I was persuaded that Chachu was making some very powerful argument on his feet. The problem, they say, even if they want to give it to him, can they do it? Because the law is set to say, you cannot compel any witness who is your opponent to give evidence against his will. So, how would they be able to distinguish or differentiate this case from the settled practice? Say, we no be as what on kasa. And that Supreme Court nya kape. I bet it's a court the way we do our business. I could not see how he can win, even though he was making some powerful and persuasive argument. Emma was sacrificed affidavit. And was very interesting because me who authority be judges no class
authority there.
I'm saying case near about MPB no craft foreign citizenship. A court Supreme Court. Na a court no na odi kan so affidavit bi. He drew ho no. Na on person obe testify. And the Supreme Court case when you swear affidavit and so on. You have to come and speak to it because that's affidavit. Affidavit is more like evidence of what you come up because it's an oath. I swear on oath said this is true in every particular. I'm a commissioner for oaths. I witness it. And it is said the original come up in crew. And it's a case, Supreme Court can say, what was our affidavit in there? Ombudsman cross-examine on that affidavit. But where the swear, where your statement qua? And now, see, affidavit here. There are several applications among for filing. Maybe I could do what I mean, minimum affidavit no some. Say, Chachu the interlocutors by, or the notice to admit by, or the stay applications by, or the stay proceedings by, or the review applications by, I don't know yet. And only I say, assembly dino. And you may be on the bar in between. Say, and man. And only yet separate from the actual assembly ye dino. I don't know so many Jamaican watchers here. Assembly ye dino. Within the time ye assembly, or Sunday application say, me person mo share no mama answers way. Me person mo stay proceedings way. Person mo call review way. And no yes separate from assembly kasa na ye di per se. And the hono na affidavit APM. Say you on the end by way of the motion na the affidavit aba. No so I was serve no so the affidavit no position aba. And the hono affidavit bem. But and we separate from assembly kasa ye di no. Assembly kasa ye di ne die. A witness statements and ye di. And ye affidavit. But me tie Urata Chuno. We feel say he was making some convincing arguments and even persuasive arguments. Say, Obi, actually the affidavit about the kase. Maybe Jina how they dance here. Eti, Mamon crosses up, Mamon Musab questions. They do send me Jana Kama. Some questions with Mabusam anyway. No one your benefits. Because of that, yeah. I didn't know now, yet me man is an argument. I thought it was very persuasive argument.
Because, what was the court's ruling?
Court is look, those ones are gone. in a sense, at the moment, witness statement, witness statement is they are not sworn. It's court to say, oh, admit here. And in a sense,
yes, answer lawyer. Also, who matricule element because abra na lawyer Chikata say obusan sembi mo can say interrogatories. One of the defenses from the respondent, the first respondent, is say who be here say nsembusa bi abeba obetimi abusa sansem no.
True.
Abra cross-examination, or also say, okay, say, Mammy Busan or Krata, so during cross-examination, meet me a busa. I feel you could do pointer or why ready so be busa or cross-examination. Also, say, Minias in the maybe young view. Now, I want to be whom I trick your element.
Matric matricule itself is not part of law. Obi all the tactics or the enejuma. Nanka lawyers ni feel say chachu witnesses no omo make it strong case against them. Anka it will be very scary for them to say NBA case in front of Libya. Because uchi rule in the Supreme Court na or say who the Assembly Court, especially election petition, yedika kato. The law now is that first you have to point to errors, violations, etc. After you've done that, you have to now go to the second step to prove that they affected the outcome. I don't know if you're following what I'm saying.
I am.
So errors, omissions, violations, the rest are all between your point now. We are, like I said, cumulatively. As the results. Before answer what Fred Obiso on this one defending.
Ruling no baby so a chairman so me person here. Or say the counsel for the petitioner has argued that because the first respondent performs a very important constitutional duty when it is sued in an action such as in this case, different rules should be applied. However, counsel failed to refer us to any provision of the 1992 Constitution or any statute which requires that the first respondent, being a constitutional body, should be subjected to different rules of the courts. And our own industry did not unearth any such authority. And it goes on to say, after citing with approval several decisions of courts in some Commonwealth countries, notably Nigeria, Uganda, Kenya, Canada, Adinida GSC concluded, he goes on to say, accordingly, the petitioner bears the burden of proof to establish not only that there were violations, and now or a special person, so to speak. And also now we need to say yes. A constitutional demand, the constitutional demand, who be here see the same way.
So, Mribiano, Sir Bassett judges make a decision. They also think about the ramifications of the decision they are going to make. And they say, what the question that will ring in their ears, and they say, what makes the EC a special case? Is the EC different from, say, the Lands Commission? Is the EC different from the Media Commission? Is the EC different from other commissions? NCC, is the EC different? Because the moment you make a special provision for the EC, then it means that provision now applies to all the bodies, meaning they have to be treated differently. So it means the moment there's a case against the NCC, they will say, yes, you're a commission, just like the EC. So the same must apply to us. The courts are not normally prepared to do that. And the established principle of law, then say, every individual is treated. Look, you see, you have something that are considered as natural persons. EC as a body, body corporate, it can sue and be sued. Meaning, say, we consider them as persons with a legal entity. Meaning, say, we sue. And you want to be making law separate to bind the EC Simply because you, in your eyes, you think that they are special. Now, NDC is where.
But constitution, no.
There's no provision that makes them special.
Okay, but by this a paragraph, so to quote or say accordingly, the petitioners bear the burden of proof to establish not only that there were violations, omissions, malpractices, and irregularities in the conduct of the presidential elections held on 7th and 8th December 2012. But also that the said violations, omissions, malpractices, and irregularities, if any, affected the results of the election. It is after the petitioners have established the foregoing that the burden shifts on the respondents to establish that the results were not affected. The threshold of proof should, in principle, be above balance of probability. Or just a way, Justice Adinyira and a Kai
in the 2013.
By saying I'm not or more echo to or sa ruling women, not a dear impression of the Maya.
It means that Unu said, King, Mr. Kai say you know, hey. It tells us
because it is giving me a signal.
Yes,
but me percent it won't now you know
it gave me the same signal. It gave me the same signal which you have just said. Because
me, I have not said. I've only read and quoted.
But there's nothing wrong. No. But you see, you are reading it as was written.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're expressing opinion based on what you read.
I'm only asking.
No, there's nothing
what
wrong.
That bit could mean.
I know. It means exactly what you just read. In a sense, that it means that in their own eyes, the petitioners haven't reached that threshold yet. That's what it means.
That the burden of proof.
Yes.
Lie on the.
Yes, because when you take a case there, you have to reach a certain limit. One, for example. If a CDU had gone with pink sheets, over 10,000, whatever amount.
But are you not delving into the realm of assembly proper?
Oh, I'm just giving examples. I'm not going specifically, but I'm just saying, assuming he had gone with pink sheets and said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all errors. And when we count them, they affect the results. Then it means the court view is that then the burden shifts. So what did I say? But you haven't done that. You cannot force somebody to come and defend or shift the burden that in his view hasn't been done.
Hello. 101.5 FM.